Hi guys, welcome back for the latest episode of Wake Up CX. So this week's topic is about how frequently should you be meeting with your team. Um, how do you create the perfect balance and reward system for them, and basically what does that look like? And it's been a topic that's been appearing on my LinkedIn all week. I can't say this one person is responsible for making this thought stick in my head. It's just been constant. I've probably seen over a dozen posts about it with some really good discussions on it with people sharing different perspectives, which is the whole reason why I wanted to set up Wake Up CX to begin with. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my thoughts and we'll go from there, and hopefully other people can come in and give me theirs and we can get a proper discussion going here. So, for me, the start of it comes down to consistency. Whatever the size of your team will impact how frequently you can meet with them. Because as a team leader or business leader, whatever your role, your time is finite. You can't be meeting with 50 staff in a day and have it be meaningful. And if you are doing meetings with 50 staff a day, at some point they're not going to be delivering in, they're not going to be meaningful or actionable. So you need to sort of find a balance between it being something that the staff can rely upon, so they know they've got a meeting, whether it's 1 o'clock on a Monday or every second Tuesday of the month, whatever it is. They need to know that meeting's there. It's not going to alter unless there's some unusual circumstance, such as one of you on annual leave. And even if that is the case, there needs to be a sort of contingency to put it in place again, so that they don't miss a meeting as a result of being away. And then it also needs to be frequently enough but not too frequent, so that the meetings can have meaning. Again, this will vary depending on your context. So, if we say you're a team leader managing 10 people, I would say once a week's reasonable. You do 2 meetings a day, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes a day. You do 2 meetings a day, 5 days a week, and everyone gets the same day each week. It's something they can rely upon, they can look forward to, knowing that they've got that window to vent, to discuss their progress and where they're going to be. Now, if your team is much larger, say you do have a team of 40 people, which is a huge team, I've managed teams like that myself, and it's a huge amount to take on. And unfortunately, something needs to give. Now, for a lot of people, that will be they start cutting down drastically on one-to-one meetings. Unfortunately, I would say yes, that does need to happen a little bit, but you still need to keep them consistent. So I would say every 2 weeks they get a one-to-one meeting, and it just means that you need to double up your time into the meeting. So rather than doing 2 meetings a day, you do 4 meetings a day, 5 days a week. For 2 weeks, you've met everyone in your 40-person team within 2 weeks' time, and then you double up again at the end of the month, do another 40 meetings. So everyone's had 2 meetings across the month. And again, it's finding that balance. You want to have it so that you can prepare properly for the meetings, that you've got something actionable to discuss with them, and that they can rely upon it. Now, another topic that falls within this category that came up was appraisals and the annual appraisal. And I'll be honest, I think annual appraisals should have been scrapped decades ago. I think it's probably the worst thing business has ever done to staff. Now, on the one side, people would argue it's an opportunity for staff to, push for a pay rise, to have that meeting set in stone to discuss that promotion opportunity. And that might be the case in some companies, but if you need to wait all year to discuss with your manager the opportunity for a pay rise or a new role, then you need to get the hell out of that company, because that's not an environment that you're going to grow very far in. I think that's an awful way for a business to operate. You could argue for a quarterly meeting. I think that's a bit more of a manageable time frame, but that doesn't come in place of your one-to-ones. If you were going to have a quarterly meeting alongside one-to-ones, what I would do start out at the very beginning when the staff come on board, have a quarterly meeting with them straight out the gate and say, look, this is what we're going to work towards over the next 3 months. This is our overarching goal. If we can achieve this, this is the outcome. Give them something measurable to go for. That doesn't need to be a pay bump. It doesn't need to be a promotion. It can be a new opportunity within their existing role. We'll give you more time helping to develop other staff. We will give you more time to work on correspondence if that's the sort of plan you want to go down. Whatever it is they want, you need to feed it into it. Because if it's not something they desire, they're not going to put the effort in. It needs to be something that they need and that benefits you as well. So you need to come together to find that thing that works for both of you, that drives and motivates your pair of you. And then you use that as the framework for your weekly meetings. So if you've got a quarterly goal that they need to get from A to B, you need to break that down into milestone goals each month. So you've got month 1, month 2, month 3. Then each week is how do we work towards month 1 goal. You can say, let's review your progress for the week. Where can we improve? How do you feel it went? And it needs to be back and forth. It's not about you setting the target, you setting the goal. They need to be involved in those goals and those targets themselves so that they have ownership over attaining them. And by breaking it all down, we make these insurmountable challenges suddenly so much more manageable. It's the whole joy of having these milestones. An additional thing you can do, which I've liked to do in the past, and I think it works well, especially if you do have a bit of a glass ceiling and staff can't promote or progress any further for a while, or there are no more team leader spots open for now, so if that's what they want to do, they have to wait or go out externally, is when you have these meetings and the one-to-one feedbacks with them. If you hit a plateau, go in, you've got 15 minutes scheduled, you say, right, let's have a quick chat, how are you doing? You're just getting to know your staff, building that relationship up. And then rather than saying, right, jump back on the phones or go back to work, just say, right, off you go have a break. It doesn't need to be anything big. Go, take 10 minutes, have a cuppa. If you smoke, go for a cigarette, whatever it is, just take 10 minutes to yourself. And it might not seem like much, but it's just a little bit of extra of a break, a little extra reward for delivering. Like, if they've delivered on all the targets you've set for them, then they should get something back. And there's no point in dragging them through endless reviews to say, you're all great, everything's amazing, you're doing perfect, nothing else for you to improve on. Now go back and take more calls, because that's not much of a reward. There needs to be something. And even 5-10 minute break, it might not seem like much, but it can make a difference, especially if they're having a bad day. Just that extra bit to walk away and take a moment to collect themselves. Now, final note on this, because again, there is so much on this topic, but the final note I want to make on this is it shouldn't matter if you have a 15-minute, 20-minute meeting scheduled a week, later in the week, next week, what have you. If any member of your team ever needs to speak to you for whatever reason, drop it and go and have that conversation. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're on the way into a call, delay the call. If you are a team leader or manager responsible for people, those people are priority number 1. It doesn't matter even if you're meeting with a client, it should not matter. Your client should understand that your staff are what grows your business. They're the reason why your business is successful. They're the reason why you have excellent customer service, why people refer your business. It's because of them. And if they're not getting what they need, you need to address it extremely quick. So never delay having those conversations. Have them, make sure everything's okay, and then catch up with whatever else later. The staff come first at every opportunity. Okay? So that's it for this week's episode. Please do me a favor, engage. Let me know what you think. How frequently do you run your meetings? What sort of team size do you have? Like we have a weekly meeting twice for 2 different teams in our company at the moment. I don't manage my own team of staff, so I don't have that issue anymore. But it's definitely varied over the years. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I shall see you again for next week's episode. So thank you, and have a good weekend, guys.